Well, Monster Jam fans, welcome back. Tonight we are officially seeing the return of the one and only BeamNG Monster Jam Destruction Series. It has been a full month since we last seen this tour run, so I'm super excited to get back into the action here. It's been a very busy past little while. I apologize for that. You know, it's been final season at school, but we have finally reached the conclusion of the school year, which means I got all the time in the world to come out here and put on some more BeamNG Monster Jam events. We have the same 16 truck lineup as usual. We'll run through that. Coming out of the Team Scream camp, we have Chris Koehler in Mayhem, Jim Koehler in Avenger, and Joe Foley in Axe. With Team Throttle Monster, we'll see Dalton Widner. With the Garners, we'll have Zack, Garner, Wildside, Venard, the Black Pearl, and Chad, Tingler, and Overboard. I'll be seeing John Zimer Jr., Terminal Velocity. Moving over to company drivers, we'll have Blake Granger, Monster Mutt Dalmatian, Bryce Kenny, Mohawk Warrior, Todd LeDuc, and Blue Thunder, Camden Murphy and Megalodon, Armando Castro, El Toro Loco, Ryan Anderson, Son of a Digger, Adam Anderson, Gravedigger the Legend, and last but certainly not least, Matt Cody and Gravedigger. Now that's the only thing that's changed here since season kickoff, is that Matt Cody is currently piloting the Gravedigger machine because of the fact that Tyler Menninga hit a wall back in Anaheim, I want to say, and so he will not be able to pilot that Gravedigger machine until the event after the next one. So there'll be this event, there'll be the event after this event, and then Tyler will be able to return to competition at the event following that one. So, tons of action to come this tour. We're still only, less than halfway through. We still got plenty of events to go. So don't think the action is starting to wind down now that it's getting to be the summer. That means the action is just getting started. And boy, oh boy, do we have some things planned. On that note, it's officially time to get underway with the first competition of the day here. Monster Jam fans, it is officially time to get ready for JCB Timed Racing. That's right, things are getting pretty excited here. Hope everyone is excited as I am, because we have not seen this tour running in quite a hot minute. Now we have an all-new racing style being used today. You will see that in action in just a minute here as we prepare to get the competition kicked off with Armando Castro, El Toro Loco. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Armando Castro kicks off the racing action tonight. Now, as you fans know, we use a timed racing format here rather than your typical racing format, just because it makes it a little easier to manage everything. And the way that racing format will work goes as follows. Keep an eye on Armando's truck. This is a demonstration pass. Drivers will start up here. They'll take it around this jammer. Armando got a little ahead of himself. They'll go onto the middle pod, but they're supposed to hit that gray lane. Armando, of course, missed it as he's trying to get a practice pass in here. That'll give him a little bit of an advantage when it comes to the actual competition in just a moment. And then they will finish a routine pass around the track as if nothing was different. So really, the only difference, and Armando's all over the place right now, the only difference is that starting point where rather than starting at the pod, they will do a turn, a little J-hook to the pod, and then the race will start there. Well, all the explaining is now out of the way, and it is time to get back into the action with Monster Jam, starting off with JCB Timed Racing. And coming up first, it's Armando Castro, El Toro Loco. He's staged and ready at the line. He's getting ready. Let's go green. Armando, he's looking pretty good so far. I would say maybe for future reference for the drivers still to come, they might want to try to get off that starting ramp a little sooner. Oh man, Armando's already getting a little messy here. You know what though? Armando is taking home some... Oh man, that truck is really... I think there was some rear steer issues right there. You saw him turning, and I couldn't even hear him flicking that switch for it to steer, but it just wasn't. I'm not too sure why that is. You might want to try to get that figured out before later competitions, but... In any news, Armando Castro, El Toro Loco, sets the bar tonight, and he takes a time of a 30.28. A 30.28 for Armando Castro and El Toro Loco. And you know, it's not a terrible time by any means, but Armando has been sitting at the bottom of points for a hot minute now. And, I mean, realistically, he should really be trying to make up points wherever he can. So a low placement like that is definitely not what he was looking for, but sometimes that's just the luck of the draw. And Armando will be back for skills and for freestyle to try and get some revenge later on. On that note, though, it is officially time to move into your next competitor. Now, this event is starting about an hour later than the typical BeamNG Destruction Series event. There was just a lot going on today, so we had to give it a little bit of a late start. I apologize for that. It's going to be a late night for me, I know that much, but you know what? That's part of the fun here with Monster Trucks. Coming up next, please welcome Chad Tingler Overboard. Station ready at the line. Let's go green. Chad Tingler, he's off to a nice start, drifting that truck very smoothly. You love to see that. He is taking these turns actually very clean. Wow, Chad Tingler might be one to watch today. So far, he has no wins on the season, but if he can keep this up, I mean, this has been a picture-perfect pass. Maybe he just took that last turn a little bit wider than you'd probably want. Keeping that truck on all fours as well. Time to beat a 30.28 for Armando Castro. El Toro Loco, your official time for Chad Tingler and Overboard, a 27.01. 27.01. Put him at the top. Chad Tingler is back, climbing the ranks here in racing. Now, timed racing, of course, is not usually as exciting as a normal side-by-side race, so I always try to have some sort of specialty going on here with these tracks. Even if it's not a huge thing, I still like to try to mix it up from the normal racing style to keep it fun. And so, yeah, on that note, that is exactly what we just saw demonstrated right there. All right. Well, it's been a great night so far. A couple pretty clean passes. Nothing too notable has gone down yet. But enough talking. It's time to get back to the racing. Coming up next, two-time Monster Jam World Champion, Jim Koehler, Avenger. Rocking that beautiful red, white, and blue body. He goes green. 27.01. Time to beat as Chad Tingler sets the bar. Jim Koehler, he's been looking faster than ever in racing lately. I don't think he has a racing win under his belt since 2021, so it would be pretty cool if he could maybe get one here. And he's looking very smooth. Passes that finish line with a very, very nice time. Wow, almost lost track of where he was there. A 26.82 is the time for Jim Koehler and Avenger, making him your new leader. Again, that was a 26.82. So Jim Koehler keeping it tight here. You know, you don't really have too much room for error when you're sitting low down in points like Jim is, so he was definitely feeling the pressure here. Understandably so, you know. If you're on that very bottom of the series, you're on the chopping block for major events, including the World Finals. And if you're a legend like Jim Koehler, you certainly don't want to miss out on the World Finals. So, understandably so, he is trying to catch back up here in the points. But on another note, we're getting right back into the racing here. And man, this is a fan favorite right here. And a new ride for the season. It's Bryce Kenny, Monster Mutt. Bryce, you never would expect to see him this low in points, but he just had a lot of rough luck with that truck not wanting to hold up. So this is really his chance here. It's now or never. Bryce Kenny and Monster Mutt, here we go. Bryce Kenny, he's going to take it smooth over that pod. He's drifting. He's looking very fast. Like said, you would never expect to see Bryce this slow down in points, and this is exactly why. You can see him looking nice and fast, flying over the finish line, and this is a close time. Time to beat Jim Koehler and Avenger, a 26.82. And the score, or sorry, not score, I always like to say score. The time for Bryce Kenny and Monster Mutt is a 26.72. Put him at the top. Bryce Kenny and Monster Mutt. He quite literally had no time to waste here. He buckled down, strapped in, and got done what he needed to get done to try and climb back up in points. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he'll be gaining in the standings coming out of this competition. That's all going to depend on how everyone else places around him. But it will at least keep those below him. So far, each driver has been getting slowly quicker and quicker as this event has gone on. Something we haven't really seen so far this season. So I'll be interested to see how things proceed. Coming up next, please welcome Team Throttle Monster Zone, Dalton Widner, Jurassic Attack. Dalton's off to a very nice start here. Oh man, that's rough. He drifted a little too far there, a bit of oversteering. Sometimes your mind starts to get to you as a driver, and these are the things that happen. And I think Dalton's already out of it with this race, but he's still trying to make up some ground, and I'll give it to him. I mean, it's not been the worst race we've seen this season. Maybe a little faster than Armando, but I don't know. He's going to take it over that finish line. And I was correct. It was a little faster than Armando, but the key word there is a little. The official time for Dalton Widner and Jurassic Attack, a 29.38. That puts an end to the previous thing that we had been seeing going on, where each driver was slowly getting faster and faster. Well, not anymore. Dalton Widner breaks the cycle as he now sets the second lowest score of the night. So Dalton's got his work cut out for him here as we move into the skills challenge and freestyle competitions later tonight. On any note, it's time to get back into the racing here, and the Team Scream action is still just getting started. Coming up next, Koehler and Mayhem. Man, these events are always so much fun, but I always lose my voice too. My voice while doing these events is really a ticking time bomb to see how long can I really get it to last for before it starts cracking for the entire rest of the stream. That's always the fun thing to look out for with these BeamNG events. Well, in any news, it's time to get into your next race. Koehler is getting smooth off the line, taking it over to that gray lane, getting this turn back around. Nice and smooth and steady is winning the race for Koehler and Mayhem. Might have taken a little bit wide out there. Oh man, he's getting all over the place, a little squirrely towards the finish. Man, I'll tell you what, Koehler and Mayhem That was a winning quality pass up until he got a little out of control there. Just at the very end, it was just barely enough to kind of disturb his pass and mess with his time. Regardless, it's not going to be a bad time for Chris Koehler and Mayhem. The official time, a 27.05. Now, I say that's not a horrible time because it's within a second range of your current leader, although it does put him in the bottom 3 right now. So we'll have to see how that time from Chris Koehler holds up as we continue on with this competition. And speaking of this competition, we're going to keep it going here. And coming up next, we got the legend himself, reigning world champion in this exact competition, Zack Garner, Wild Side. Staged at the line, ready to go. Let's go green. Oh no! A detrimental mistake for Zack Garner. Not too long ago, he was sitting confidently up there in the podium, but one off event and he dropped way towards the bottom of points, and it looks like that is going to continue on for him. He's trying to get it back going for him though. Accelerates over the line, but that mistake in the beginning of the race is going to cost him the official time for Zack Garner. Keep in mind, reigning world champion in that competition. You probably wouldn't expect it after seeing that pass. Zack Garner puts down a 29.69. Not a good time at all. Second to last place for Zack Garner and Wildside. Really dropping the ball. You know, expectations were high for him coming into this season, especially in this competition, seeing as he just won the World Championship, the highest prestige possible for racing. But I mean, sometimes you get a little too into your head, and looks like that's what we just saw for Zack Garner, who spun out in a place he really shouldn't have. But you know what? We'll have to see if that remains a trend later on. As coming up next, filling in for Tyler Menninga, it's Matt Cody, Gravedigger. Station ready at the line. This will be your halfway point. After this, half the field will have went. Let's see how he sets the bar. Looking nice and fast off the line. Almost went out of bounds there, but looks like he was able to get it back together. Oh my goodness, what an amazing save for Matt Cody in Gravedigger. Wow, I am blown away. Well, here's the thing. It looked pretty cool, but this wasn't the freestyle competition. This is racing. And if you're going to go out there and put down a DNF in racing, you're in a pretty bad position. So, Matt Cody's fill-in period for... Sorry, cut up a little bit there for a second. Matt Cody's fill-in period for Tyler Menninga only continues to get worse. He now puts Gravedigger in the dead last position. So, I mean, one of two things. Either Matt Cody's going to have to start figuring his things out, or Tyler is going to have some serious makeup work to do when he returns to being behind the wheel. And we're really just going to have to wait and see which of two ways it ends up going. But, like said, the Team Scream action wasn't over quite yet. We still got one more Team Scream guy to go. And this is the fan favorite, but he's known for freestyle. So we'll have to see how fast he's looking in racing. It's G.I. Joe Foley, Axe. At the line, stage and ready. Let's go green. Sounds like he got off the line and the throttle cut out for a second. He's going very wide right there. I'm not too sure what the idea was with that. He's trying to keep this under control, but he's looking all over the place, even more than Chris Koehler was. Barely was able to correct at the very last second there and actually get all four BKC tires over that racing lane. Maybe this will pay off for him. Not quite. Joe Foley and Axe laid down the fastest pass he could. But unfortunately tonight, it was not the one to get it done. A 28.26 for Joe Foley. I really think the determining factor in that time was the fact that he took that first turn so wide. And really, I feel like the thing with this track that we have seen out of every driver so far is you gotta be precise. You gotta get it around those corners quick. And Joe Foley wasn't able to do that, and because of that, he's gonna drop pretty low down in the current standings for this event. But this next driver should certainly know what he's doing with over a decade of experience under his belt, with a world championship in this competition under his belt. I believe he's been doing this for over 15 years. It's the man himself, Ryan Anderson, son of a digger. Station ready at the line. Let's go green. So far, this competition has really gone one of two ways for most drivers. Either they've been really fast or they've been really messy. And Ryan, he's looking like he's really in between. He's not looking horrible, but I mean, I've seen better, so I don't know. It's all going to come down to this turn right here. He's drifting it. And he's going to bring this to a close. It's not going to be enough for that top spot. But I'll tell you what, he was on it. You know, it wasn't perfect. It's going to be a 27.56. Not the fastest time, not the slowest time. That will put Ryan at about the middle of the pack. So, although it's not a winning time or anything like that, it's always nice to be able to have a little bit of cushion to where you're still in a fairly comfortable place. And I think Ryan's in a spot where he shouldn't feel too bad. He might drop a little bit down in the standings, but none too serious there. On that note, we're getting ready for the next competitor. And on that note, this guy, man, his stadium experience might be limited, but he has been throwing it down in every competition all season long. It's time to get into it with Granger, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Ready to go at the line. Let's go green. We still have only seen, I believe, 2 drivers break into the 26 second range. Combine my words right there. But I don't know, maybe Blake will be the guy. I mean, he's looking great so far. It really comes down to those turns once you get into the main course. He's taking it full speed ahead, accelerates across the finish line, and what an incredible time. Blake Granger, Monster Mutt Dalmatian, a 25.54. The first driver to get a sub-26 time. Blake Granger, Monster Mutt Dalmatian, he has got to be feeling good about that right now. That is the fastest time we have seen all event long. And I mean, this track has been proving, I gave a little bit of a hint to the next truck on accident. This track has been proving to be pretty tough for quite a lot of drivers, so when you're able to actually get it done compared to some of the greats who really weren't able to, it's got to feel great. Blake Granger in a very good spot right now as he sits in the lead. On that note, coming up next, fan favorite, let's hear it, get loud, John Zimer Jr., Terminal Velocity. Maybe having a bit of strategy here. He's getting staged in a way we haven't seen yet. He's giving that truck a bit of a twist. Let's see how that goes for him. John Zimer Jr., Terminal Velocity. He's getting this turned around. He's looking very, very quick. And he's taking this around the final bend. It's looking good. Huge acceleration And oh my goodness, this might be the craziest story of the season. We just saw Blake Granger be the first driver to get a time under 26 seconds as Blake Granger laid down a 25.54. Fans, you're never gonna believe me when I'm saying this here, but John Zimer Jr. currently sits in second place by 100th of a second. That's right. The time for Blake Granger was a 25.54, and the time for John Zimer Jr. was a 25.55. What an unbelievable series of events that just unfolded. That is crazy. Hard to believe what we just witnessed, but you know what? Sometimes that is what makes Monster Jam so exciting. On that note, only 4 competitors left to remain, 1/4 of the field. Let's see how it goes. Up next, it's Camden Murphy, Megalodon. Time begins, and Camden has his work cut out for him. I mean, we just saw 2 extremely fast passes right there, and I don't know if this is going to be one of them, but he just slung through that corner super well. That is what it's going to come down to. He's taking it through this last turn here. Oh man, he's looking a little rough. Oh, can he get this back? Camden Murphy and Megalodon. Maybe he can. Yes, he can. On the ragged edge, getting it done. Unfortunately, not going to break that 26-second barrier that we have been seeing broken by the past couple competitors. But it's not a bad time at all. This actually puts Camden towards the top currently. He's going to get a 26.34. Again, certainly not the fastest time we've seen, but it puts him up there on the board, and that's not something to count out. I mean, you got to get points wherever you can if you want to stay towards the top, and I think Camden just did a great job at that. But we still got a few left to go here, so we'll see how that time holds up as we continue on. Coming up next, please welcome to the track, Monster Jam legend, Venard and the Black Pearl. He's getting ready to go here. His teammate, Chad Singler, had a pretty decent time on the board earlier tonight. Let's see if he can get up there as well. Venard looking a little bit rough to get things started here. He is taking it through this first bend very smoothly. Oh no. Right as I say that, Venard makes some crucial mistakes. He goes flying through the air, and he is brought to a screeching halt as he goes out of bounds and into that barrier. Now, as you fans know, stadium damage is a suspension on the series. The thing is, though, the difference between stadium damage and something like that is when we have stadium damage, you expect something like Tyler Menninga in Anaheim where he rolled up into the stands and, you know, broke seats and stuff like that. What Venard just did, he simply rolled it uncontrollably and he hit a concrete wall. That wall is essentially just a huge concrete barrier. We're going to have those officials run out there and check it out, but unless he somehow cracked the concrete, he shouldn't be penalized for that, although he may have some work to do if he wants to get back out here for the next competition. On that note, though, racing must continue on, and your next competitor out here. Coming up next, Adam Anderson, Gravedigger the Legend. Adam Anderson, Gravedigger the Legend. Oh man, that was a super nice turn. Adam, he might be one to look out for if he can get this last turn down. Yes, he can. He soars over the finish line, And Monster Jam fans, for the first time tonight, maybe the only time tonight, we just saw a driver get a time under 25 seconds. Adam Anderson, oh man, like I said, my voice really dies out in these shows. Adam Anderson, in Grave Digger the Legend, puts a time of 24.46 on the board. Put him at the top. Adam Anderson, the first driver under 25 seconds of this entire show. And man, Todd's got his work cut out for him. Todd currently defending that series lead, but Adam is in a very close second place position, and Todd's got to be sweating bullets now with Adam getting even closer to being into that top spot. So Todd's got his work to do here if he wants to have any chance. He's getting ready to go. Time starts now. Todd's looking very smooth over that first turn. Maybe got a little bit wider than you would want to see, but overall he's keeping it tight right here. Ooh, that might mess him up a little bit. Yes, it will. He got way out of hand. He's getting this turned around. He is going to soar over the finish line. But this race is going to prove detrimental for Todd LeDuc and Blue Thunder. He was your series leader coming into this competition, but he puts a time of a 28.43 on the board. And I believe that is a slow enough time to put Adam into the top spot. Of course, I can't be 100% sure in saying that, but I am pretty confidently sure that Todd LeDuc is no longer in that series lead. We have been seeing this battle going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all season between all sorts of drivers. I mean, it's been, the competition lately has been absolutely unreal. I am been blown away by some of the performances that we have seen that have brought some drivers like Zimer Jr. went from 14th to 3rd place in one event. It was one of the craziest things we've seen all season. While Adam Anderson picks up his 3rd, maybe even 4th win of the year. But that being said, it's time to get into the skills challenge. Those of you in chat, don't worry, I see you there. MJ Superstar Human, thank you for coming out. Of course, having a live chat always brings some more fun to these events for me as I sit down here for a couple hours and put them on. But on that note, it's officially time for you guys in chat to get to work, because we are moving into these scored competitions, the first of the two being the skills challenge, where you fans in chat put in your scores and they are combined with the expert scores to determine the official scores for our Monster Jam competitors. This is when things start to get a little bit more interesting. And coming up first here in the skills challenge, he put down a DNF in racing. It's Matt Cody in Gravedigger filling in for legend Tyler Menninga. So, you know, the pressure's really on for Matt. He's got a big title to fill here, some big shoes to fill. I'm not sure he's going to be able to, whoa, I said too much too fast. I'm not sure if he'll be able to, but he's going to have to try. Tell you what, he's looking good on the front end right there. Matt Cody trying to combo it up a little bit. Oh, no. Well, it was a cool move while it lasted. Try to get a combination maneuver. Didn't go as planned. You see, broke that 4-link bar clean off of the truck. Sometimes that's just the luck. Whoa, the luck of the draw. Combined luck and draw in that sentence. Sometimes that's just the luck of the draw, you know. So, a tough break there for Matt Cody. He's really been having a hard time filling in for Tyler Menninga. But in any news, get those scores locked in the chat for Matt Cody and Gravedigger, giving it one solid attempt. Keep in mind your fans' scores will be combined with an expert score to determine the official score. Alright, scores have come in. The fan score of 5.4. The expert score of 5. That makes the official score tonight for Matt, Cody, and Gravedigger a 5.2. 5.2, it sets the bar, but it doesn't set it too high at all. You know what, though? When you only have one move, you're better having a 5 than a 2, so we'll see how Matt's score holds up as we go on. But man, should he be worried, as this next driver hitting the track is the reigning world champion in this competition. That's right, it's Armando Castro, El Toro Loco. Oh man! Where did that move come from? Oh my goodness! I can't lie, I don't even know if that was intentional. It looks like he was just coming around the bend and he clipped the pod and he sees the opportunity to get a cool move in there. So I guess that's one attempt down for Armando Castro. That was cool. We have not seen some sort of... I don't even know if that was a butt kicker or what to call that, but it was very cool. One more hit to go, I suppose. Nice and balanced, calm and collected. Armando Castro, great at these moves. He is a world champion in this competition for a reason. Hear that backup beeper going on and off as he keeps this truck balanced on the nose. Oh my goodness, can he get this back? No, man. Oh, we almost just saw one of the, if not the best save in this competition all year long. Armando, he had that balancing act going. Unfortunately, got a little ahead of himself. Looks like he might have tried to combo it up a little bit. But he got a little hiked up, a little too hiked up, and that truck got sent over. Nonetheless, I know it was unfortunate that he went over that way, but still, I think that deserves a pretty good round of applause. That was a sick couple of moves we saw, even if it was cut just a tiny bit short. So get those scores locked in for Armando Castro and El Toro Loco. Fan scores come in at a 7.1. Expert scores come in at a 7.5. That makes the official score tonight for Armando Castro as 7.3. Not the highest score we've seen all season, but you know what? It sets the bar. It's the highest score we've seen so far, and sometimes that's the best you can ask for. Getting back into the action, this is one to look out for in this competition always. It's Zack, Garner, and Wildside. I will say he's been having a little bit of a rough time getting it done this year, but some events go better than others for all drivers, so we'll see. I mean, keep in mind, we have way less events done so far this season than normal, just because of how busy things have been lately. Now we're moving into a bit more seasonal of a time where there's more time to get more events done. Zack, Garner, Wildside. Onto those front two BKT tires. Looking nice and balanced. Zack had a bit of a rough night in racing. Now, for those of you who are not aware, the current order we are following in skills is the order that the drivers placed in racing earlier on. The only exception is Venard and the Black Pearl, because they have him in the pits right now getting that thing checked out. What on earth? Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. Oh man. That would have been the coolest move in any competition of the entire season if he could have kept it alive. If he could have even just saved that, it would have been great. But that truck spun around just like it did for Armando Castro. Zack, Garner, he's not going to be able to get a second attempt in. Sometimes that's just the luck of the draw. I mean, you know, I've said it so many times. That's just how it goes sometimes. Fan scores come in at a 6. Expert score 6.25. The official score for Zack, Garner, and Wildside, a 6.125. 6.125. So Zack Garner, this has really not been a great show for him. You know, he was in a podium placement before Houston. Houston, he dropped down a lot, and it looks like that has just continued to plummet for him. So a tough break. He'll be back for freestyle, though, and I really think freestyle's been his strong suit lately. So, you know what? Didn't go how he wanted it to, but I'm looking forward to see what he's got planned for later on competition. On that note, we're going to keep things going here with the People's Champion, Dalton Widner, Jurassic Attack. Dalton, he's always been very interesting in this competition in that I think he's a lot of fun to watch, or not even that, I think he's just really skilled, but the thing is, he kind of just does the same thing every single time, and I want to see him try and spice it up a little bit. He just doesn't really seem to do it very much, so we'll see what he can do here. Looks like he's getting started with your typical Dalton Widner moonwalk here. A little bit of a nose wheelie, I should say. Now he's moonwalking it up that ramp. I will say, this is some great balance right now. Well, he is unsuccessful. Not completely. He did still have a little bit of a moonwalk, and it looked pretty cool, but I would have assumed he would have wanted to walk it a little longer, so I don't know. He should just be thankful to be getting past that first hit, because a lot of drivers can't say that they did. Trying to get this set up here. Onto the pod he goes. Dalton Widner, Jurassic Attack. No! Oh man, are we going to see anyone end on the lid today? I mean, oh my goodness, everyone is rolling it over. Man, well, you know what? 2 successful moves can take the lead. Well, it could, but I don't even know if we're going to see 2 successful moves. I mean, we've seen people get close, but man, so many rough breaks here. It's crazy to me. Fan scores come in at a 6.4. Expert scores come in at a 5.5. Let's see, you put those together. The score for Dalton Widner, a 5.95. Tough break there. You know what? He was doing really well. That's the first time I think he's attempted that move all season, so kudos to him for trying out something new. You know, even that takes a lot of courage sometimes. In his scenario, it didn't work out, but hey, we'll see if he can try and keep that move going later on in the season. Now, this next driver, he's a bit of a dark horse in skills in that it's really a luck of the draw for him. Sometimes he does really good in skills, sometimes he does not so good in skills. This season, he's had a lot of great runs and a couple not so great runs. What will tonight's story be? Well, we're going to find out as Todd LeDuc and Blue Thunder hits the track. He's getting set up and ready to go. Well, Todd LeDuc and Blue Thunder, he tried to get it done on that first hit. It was a nice bicycle, but nothing too notable there, so he's going to have to make up on the second one. Oh my goodness! Wait! Oh my goodness! Todd LeDuc! Whoa! We have seen so many crazy one-of-a-kind moves. Todd LeDuc, something I have not seen ever before. Wow. Never, ever on this series have we seen something like that. Todd LeDuc, Blue Thunder. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. A lot of drivers really have been struggling to deliver here. We tend to see a lot of great combos with this all-star lineup, but this has been a really rough show. But at least Todd did something cool. You know what? Let's get those scores locked and see what Todd's going home with here. Let's see, experts say 8.25, fans say 8.5, and the official score for Todd, an 8.375. So that does put him at the top. So, you know, Todd had some serious work to do to make up for his fumble in racing. And I'd say he did a pretty decent job. Of course, like said, not the biggest score that we've seen all season, but it's the biggest score of the night, and sometimes that's the best you can ask for. Coming up next, man, this will be an interesting one. This man's not exactly known for his skills, but sometimes he's a bit of a wild card in this competition. You never know what he's got planned. It's the man himself, Freestyle Foley G.I. Joe. Getting it set up on that jammer. A pretty routine stop for Joe Foley, I feel. Oh man, he's soaring on that sky wheelie. Oh wow! Joe Foley with the save. Taking a quick scan of that truck, everything stayed intact. Joe Foley in axe. Unreal. We have not seen a save like that all night. It's about time the action starts picking up. I appreciate the support very much. You know, I love putting these on, but usually it's more of a passion project than an actual show. So it's always more fun when someone's there scoring and supporting the stuff. Oh, wait, can he salvage this? Oh! Oh! Joe Foley, he tried to get it back. That was a really, really weird run. He failed a bicycle, comboed it out of nowhere, failed the combo, got the combo back, almost saved it, failed to save it. I mean, what even was that? I've never seen something like that. Well, it was cool. We'll see how things go. Expert scores say 6.75. Fan scores say 7.7. The official score for Joe Foley is 7.225. 7.225. You know what? Not a terrible score. It puts him on the board at least compared to some other scores we've seen so far. Like I've said a couple times, this has been a really rough show. These tours tend to really deliver, especially the Destruction Series. I mean, obviously, so for those of you new here, there's a Destruction Series, a Thursday Throwdown Series, and a Destruction Series. Now, the Thursday Throwdown Series didn't run today because we haven't done a Destruction Tour in too long. We needed to get back into the action, so I figured the Thursday Throwdowns could wait for a week and we could get back into the Destruction action. Now, coming up next, a 4-time world champion, so he should be able to get things done here. It's Ryan Anderson in the Son of a Digger. He's had a bit of a rough season going. It's not been the worst season ever, but he's really not up there in points like you would usually expect him to be, so we'll see what he can do here. Looks like he's setting up for a bit of a Ryan Anderson classic, if I don't say. Gotta get those back tires to touch just right. Perfect balance right there, Ryan Anderson. You know, he's always been one to watch in this competition ever since he started these moonwalks almost a decade ago now. It's almost been 10 years of moonwalks with Monster Jam. I mean, that's crazy how quickly time goes by. Struggling to find room to walk that thing forward, but it looks like he's starting to get in there a little bit. Just keeping a very clean attempt going. We haven't seen too many of these, so I'll take it. Oh, there we go. That might be the first one of the season. Ryan successfully does a slap moonwalk tombstone. It's about time that we see one of those. And it's about time we see a really consistent attempt. We have not seen enough of these tonight. But you know what Ryan said? I'm showing up and showing out today. He is going to get another one out of it. Oh, can he save it as well? Oh, man. That might have been the craziest skills move of the year. I mean, what? Ryan Anderson just delivered. That was unreal. Extremely consistent there. One more move to go. Oh, man! Oh, wow! 2 picture-perfect attempts for Ryan. I'll say the second one probably didn't go exactly as planned. I think he had more of a sidewall in mind, but I mean, we're also already seeing a sidewall to moonwalk to wheelie combination. Unheard of. Ryan Anderson, son of a digger. It's beyond me that he's not a world champion in this competition yet, because what on earth was that? Well, let's take a look at the scoreboard. Expert score comes in at a 9.5. Fan score comes in at a 9.8. 9.65 is the score for Ryan Anderson. 9.65. That might be the highest score of the year. I mean, it has been something else tonight. It's been, you know, all over the place. Some drivers done better, some have done worse, but Ryan just threw it down. There is absolutely no denying that. Unreal action. You know what? I guess you could say Ryan just gave us some mayhem. If I don't say for myself here. I meant to say if I don't say so myself, then it came out as I don't say for myself, then I realized that wouldn't sound right, so it just came out as nothing. Oh man. The joys of doing live events. Well, let's get back into it. Let's unleash some mayhem with Chris Koehler. Man, St. Louis here, the Dome at America's Center. These shows always deliver one way or another. I would be really embarrassed if I just said the wrong stadium name. Quite frankly, I don't remember. You know what, though? Let's see what Chris Koehler can do. Oh, he got a little stuck up there. Well, you know what? Chris Koehler in Mayhem, he gave it his best effort. It didn't seem to go exactly how he wanted it to, but sometimes that's just how things go. You know. Whoa! Man, I wish you guys could see what just happened. A steering wheel just fell onto me. That was crazy. Well, Chris Koehler, one more attempt to go. And he's going to get a nice bicycle there. Well, in better news for Chris, that was one of very few occasions where we actually saw 2 successful attempts. And less good news for Chris, he just did that following the craziest skills run of the season, and he kind of didn't deliver. So, you know what? He tried, but it didn't go exactly as planned. Let's get those scores locked for Chris Koehler and Mayhem. And this stream is lagging a lot for some reason. Expert scores give Chris Koehler a 6.5. Fans give it a 7.7. The official score for Chris Koehler, a 7.1. 7.1 for Chris Koehler in Mayhem. Well, on that note, we're moving into a driver that's not exactly known for this competition. This season has kind of just been, well, we'll see what he can do, but we know he's probably not going to be taking home the win. It's Chad Tingler in Overboard. Chad's career, I'd say, was summed up pretty well just in the freestyle competition, but we'll see what he can do. He's running his last season here with Monster Jam, so got a little added pressure because of that. Very, very nice reverse popper. There we go. Reverse popper, walks it into a slap wheelie. We have not really seen, you know what? The moonwalks and bicycles and whatever else are cool, but we haven't seen a nice wheelie combo like that yet. So I'll take it. Chad Tingler, he gave us something new. One more hit to go here. a great sky wheelie, keeping it old school. Chad Tingler in overboard. 2 pretty solid hits. Nothing super groundbreaking in terms of skill put into it, but it's something new we haven't seen yet, so maybe that could help him out here. I will say, he might not have attempted necessarily the craziest moves, but he gave us something we haven't seen yet, and that's something to keep in mind. The experts score that a 7.75. Fans score that a pretty nice 8.8. And the score for Chad Tingler, an 8.275. 8.275. One of the higher scores we've seen. That's actually second place. So, man, Chad Tingler, he's on the climb again. You'll love to see it. And, oh boy. Speaking of things you love to see, I think this next driver is one that everybody loves to watch out here on the track. He did pretty good in racing for what you'd normally expect from him, so I'll be looking forward to see what he's got planned for skills, because he's been pretty fun in this competition lately. It's Jim Koehler and Avenger. Man, Jim has become a beast in the skills challenge when that truck does what he wants it to. The question is, will it be able to? Well, that's what we're going to find out. Oh, man! Jim Koehler and Avenger laying down the first pretty solid sidewall attempt of the event. Those were the craziest sidewalls we have seen all night long, which is kind of funny considering we've seen people like Ryan out here, but sometimes the veterans know how to get it done. One more hit to go. Oh, whoa! Oh, and he lands it on the pod. Wow. Ryan's got to be getting nervous because that was incredible. 2 perfect hits for Jim Koehler. When you talk about a bicycle save, those are both textbook moves. Like, those are both a textbook definition of a crazy bicycle save. Unreal. Jim Koehler and Avenger showed up and showed out for Team Scream. Scores are locked. Experts give it a 9.5. Fans give it a 9.6. That means the official score for Jim Koehler is a 9.55. Puts him very close to the lead, but it puts him in second place. But I mean, when you're against the likes of Ryan Anderson, second place is nothing to complain about, nothing to scoff at. Jim Koehler getting it done. And we're going to move right back into the action here. Coming up next, legend of Monster Jam, still looking for that first world championship. It's Bryce Kenny and Monster Mutt. Bryce has always seemed a little exceptional in this competition in that he picked it up really quickly and stayed consistent ever since. Getting it onto those front 2 BKT tires. Walking the dog, as we like to say it. Keeping it nice and balanced. Man, this might be one of the cleanest moonwalks we have seen. Probably the cleanest moonwalk since Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger was out here. Oh man, Bryce Kenny looks like he tried to combo it up a little bit. Truck didn't do exactly what he wanted it to, but you know what? I think he still had a pretty solid attempt there. Still one more move to go. And at this point, what we have learned in this competition is that consistency is key. Drivers have gone out there and done one really good hit, but the drivers with 2 solid hits are the ones that have gotten up there in the standings. Bryce Kenny and Monster Mutt. There we go. Very clean. Walking the dog. You love to see it. Keeping it alive here. He's comboing it up. There we go. Oh, man. Oh, ho, ho. The ragged edge for Bryce Kenny. That's what I love with some of these drivers in the skills challenge, is how quickly they'll go from perfectly balanced to on the ragged edge. And they make it work so well. That is just what I love to see happen in this competition. Bryce Kenny in the Monster Mutt, showing you fans why he is a fan favorite. Absolutely incredible work. Let's see what the scores say. The experts give it a 9. The fans give it an 8.9. That puts him at a score of an 8.95. So an 8.95 for Bryce Kenny. And Monster Mutt putting him in a great spot. I think that might be third place, I believe, right now. We're going to get right back into the action. Coming up next, in a bit of a different ride this season, it's Camden Murphy in Megalodon. Again, this isn't really where you'd expect to see Camden, but Todd was back in Blue Thunder, and we needed enough trucks for everyone to get their own trucks. So we figured, you know what? We'll put Todd Blue Thunder, we'll put Camden Megalodon, and everyone's happy. Oh man, that got really close. Okay. Trying to salvage it. A very rare mistake for Camden Murphy, though. You know, typically we see him looking really smooth out there. And that was a really rough attempt, so I'm not sure what's gotten into Camden here. He's got one more move to try and correct for his mistake. Well, maybe he can correct here, though. He's throwing down a textbook nose wheelie and moonwalk combination. Look at this. Trying to combo it, maybe he can. Oh, wait. Oh, man, this skills challenge started out rough, but these drivers, they got whatever was going wrong figured out, because we have seen the craziest combinations happening pretty much ever since Ryan Anderson hit the track. What a crazy save. The absolute skills being put on display it's just so crazy to watch. So much fun. And we're actually getting really close to the end of the competition here. We have John Zimer Jr., Blake Granger, Adam Anderson, and then possibly Cole Venard still left to close out. So we're actually a pretty big ways into the competition. Let's see experts score it at an 8.75. Fans give it an 8.9. The official score for Camden Murphy is an 8.825. 8.825 for Camden Murphy and Megalodon. Now fans, remember, stay on the edge of your seats. We have a great driver coming up next. He's getting ready to hit the track. Now, we call this kid the Combo King. And I think he's about to show us all why. Monster Jam fans coming up next. John Zimer Jr. Terminal Velocity. John Zimer Jr. always has something up his sleeve to stand out from the rest of the crowd. So, I'm looking forward to this one. I can say that confidently here. Look at the balancing act where the man himself John Zimer Jr. terminal velocity. He had the craziest comeback in, I think, all of Monster Jam history earlier this season, as he went from 14th place to 3rd place from just one event. Oh man, that was a close call. He was able to keep it together though, and he is showing off right now. This is a textbook John Zimer Jr. skills run. Oh man. Wonderful execution. You'll love to see it. One more hit still to go. That's right. That whole maneuver you just saw was all only one move. John Zimer Jr. really displaying his talent right there. Nearly rolled it over too, but he stayed cool, calm, and collected, and it got him a pretty nice hit. Getting onto those front two BKTs. Oh man. Oh man. Oh, wait. Oh. Oh. What? That might be save of the year. And it came out of nowhere. I cannot believe it. He was done, but he said, nope, no, I am not. He put the pedal to the metal and pulled off an amazing save. Absolute cinema right there from Little Zim. Unreal. Experts scored a 9.5. Fans scored a 9.7. Which means the official score, wow, that's a big one. John Zimer Jr. terminal velocity 9.6 puts him in 2nd place. He has got to be feeling good about that. On that note, only 3 competitors remain, maybe 2. It's all going to depend on if we are able to see Venard come out here last. They're still working hard in the pits. But in the meantime, coming up next, the first and only ever driver to get 2 championships in the same year. Series championships, I should say. It's Blake Granger, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Look at this feeling. What? What did I even just say? Look at this move that we are seeing. Wow, I just meant to say seeing and said something completely different somehow. Again, the joys of doing live events. Well, this might be the best combo of the show. I don't know, it's definitely up there. I mean, pretty flawless action from Blake Granger. How is he still keeping this all going? Wow. The fact that that all was only one attempt is beyond me. The balancing act, the consistency, everything he could have done, he did right. One more hit to go, getting it lined up here, feeling out the ramp. And he's back on the move. Man, out of everyone in skills, outside of Tristan England, Blake Granger is probably the most consistent guy. John Zimer Jr. is up there, Tyler Menninga's up there, but no one can do it like Tristan and Blake can. It is insane the amount of balance and precision that Blake really has. He is just showing off at this point. I mean, 2 picture-perfect attempts. This is definitively what an expert judge would consider a 10. I mean, he is just not giving up right now. Blake Granger, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Again, probably the most consistent run the entire time. Unbelievable the amount of balance that he had right there. Well, fans, let's see those scores in, because that was probably the cleanest skills run of the season. And even though it was really clean, he still managed to fit in some ragged edge action in there. That's what I love to see here on this tour. So again, get those scores locked in. Let's see, fans give it a 9.5, experts give it a 9.75. That puts him at a 9.625, another huge score. Not putting him at the top spot, but it does get him way up there on the leaderboard. I think that is second place right there. So, man, we are just seeing some drivers staying so consistent. Blake Granger has got to be feeling incredible. On that note, only 2 competitors remain. And the first of the 2, your racing winner from earlier tonight. The man, the myth, the legend, driving the legend. It's Adam Anderson. Getting this put into reverse here. Setting up for something we haven't seen so far. And this is an Adam Anderson original move. He calls it the Crypt Walk. Okay, Crypt Walk wheelie combo. Sure, why not? Adam Anderson, he's looking like he's having some fun out there. But he can't really be spending too much time out there just... Oh, watch out, Adam. That's the... Yep, that's JCB. Hey, shout out to Adam. Shouting out our sponsors right there. One more hit to go. Two pretty solid attempts. Nothing super groundbreaking. You know what? He tried to deliver. At least he actually had 2 completed attempts. It's much more than most competitors so far could say. And you love to see it. 2 great hits there for Adam. Not the best hits, but certainly not the worst either. Having lots of fun out there in the legend. Let's see, the expert scores give that a 7.5. Fan scores give that an 8.65. And that means the official score is an 8.07. Oops, sorry. A little bit of a shift here. Judges give it a 7.5. Fans give it an 8.56. Putting the score at an 8.03 for Adam Anderson. So not riding a winning streak, but he should still feel good to be that high up. On that note, we're into our last driver in the skills challenge. And once this one's over with, we'll be into everyone's favorite competition. And if you've not watched an event from this tour yet, I'm just going to say it like it is. You're not going to want to miss freestyle. Not a second of it. Even the rough freestyles, the reason freestyles usually end short is because the driver was going so crazy that the truck broke in half. Freestyle is not something you want to miss, and that's coming up right after Cole Venard and the Black Pearl finishes throwing it down here in skills. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh. That felt like we were watching Cole Venard from Orlando 2018. Quite honestly, I don't even know why the truck kept running the way it was. But he just absolutely gave us a show. One more hit to go if he can get refired. And Cole Venard, he is back up and running. He's got one more move to go. As you know, we don't do any of that out of bounds and the run crap here on this BeamNG Destruction Series. These drivers run until those trucks won't run anymore. Venard trying to do something creative there. I'll give him credit. He still gave it his best attempt, but not the coolest thing we've seen all day. Second attempt, he tried to deliver, though. I'll give him credit where credit's due. First hit had a pretty cool save as well. Pretty solid 2 hits there for Cole. On that note, it's time to get scores locked for your last competitor of the Skills Challenge. Expert judges giving that a 7.75. Fan judges giving that an 8.8. That means it's an 8.275. Ironically, that means Venard got the exact same score as his teammate Chad Tingler. So that's something kind of funny there. But yeah, on that note, Ryan Anderson is officially your Skills Challenge winner. Well, fans, it's been a great first half of action here. We're going to take a quick, probably 2-minute intermission here, and then we're going to get into the freestyle competition. Alright, Monster Jam fans, I am back in the commentary booth. It has been a very, very eventful event so far. Probably not the craziest show of the year. We've seen some better, but the best competition in all of Monster Trucks is still coming up. Monster Jam fans, don't you worry. I could never forget about Monster Jam Freestyle. The competition everyone comes here for. 16 of the best in all the sport. If you hear any breaks in my talking here on out, it's because I gotta get my hydration in. I got a bottle of water with me now. This is taxing on the voice, so you gotta make sure you stay hydrated. Alright. Preparations are underway for freestyle. Dirt Squad is putting their finishing touches on the track, but fans, I think it's about time to get into some freestyle action. Don't you agree? I know you couldn't disagree because freestyle is the event everyone comes for after all. Well, fans, it's officially time to shift our focus to freestyle. And hey, look at that truck in the background of that image. Well, that's pretty topical because kicking off Monster Jam Freestyle, filling in for Tyler Menninga, it's the man himself and his first domestic stadium appearance in quite a while, apart from Houston previously on the tour. It is Matt Cody filling in to Gravedigger. Now, Matt Cody's been having a really rough time with filling in, but hopefully he can try and get things figured out today. Now, he's setting the bar here, so he really has the opportunity to do something that nobody could beat, but he's going to have to push that truck to its limits. 2 minutes underway for Matt Cody. He's looking pretty solid so far. This is only this tour's second time on this track style, so I would say just being able to have it figured out this well is a win in and of itself. Matt Cody already showing off some great flow on this track. Oh man. Oh man. Man, now I'm starting to feel like it is Tyler out there in that truck. What a crazy save from Matt Cody. Oh, wow. Soaring through the air. Matt Cody and Gravedigger wasting no time to get that full send action started off. Keep in mind, like I said, he is setting the bar, so if he can get a good run to kick off the night, then I think that's the best way to really establish a good freestyle competition that's going to be underway. Wow, he's getting us some nice saves in here. You'll love to see it. Nice sky wheelie as well. And we might be seeing it in the first run, first Morgan and Morgan backflip in 2 months. And he nails it. He wastes no time to take it to full send central. While evidently he's battling some truck issues, if I'm not mistaken, that's a broken tie rod back there. Now, for those of you who don't know the tour rules, a broken tie rod isn't a shutoff here on the Destruction Series, so Matt Cody still has the opportunity to fill time, which he just did. Time is now expired, and Matt Cody ends it off with some crash madness. Man, I'll tell you what, that might not have had the wow factor of the year or the full send of the year or anything like that, but that was just a nice textbook Monster Jam freestyle. Had a little bit of everything. Air, momentum, saves, the crash, the backflip. It had some of everything. So Matt Cody showing these drivers how it's done. I'm pretty happy with that run, seeing as Matt Cody's been having a really, really rough time getting things figured out lately. On that note, get those scores locked in. And the scores are now all in. Fan scores given a 9. Expert scores given an 8.25. The official score for Matt Cody is an 8.625. 8.625. On that note, we're going to get things right into your next competitor. And if anyone knows how to throw down a run, we learned that this guy surely can at the World Finals last year. It's Dalton Widner in Jurassic Attack, the People's Champion himself. Getting set up and ready to go. Here we go. Time begins with a full send from Dalton Widner in Jurassic Attack. Evidently, no time to waste here. Dalton saw where Matt Cody set the bar. He said, okay, seems fair to me. I'm going to go try and top it. Off to a pretty nice, solid start here. Didn't turn back around once again. He's gotten some nice flow here, but it looks like he is getting a little bit lost from here to there. Just not quite figuring out what he should be hitting when. Like that, he definitely is oversteering a little bit. Maybe some steering issues for Jurassic Attack, but nothing that looks like it's too detrimental for him as he gets a nice little bit of a save out there. He definitely is looking a little bit lost compared to Matt Cody, so that's something to keep in mind when we get to scoring a little later on. Maybe an early backflip attempt for Dalton Widner. And he's going to nail the landing, actually. Probably the smoothest backflip on the season. And he's going to get some serious hang time and an amazing save. Wow, Dalton Widner and Jurassic attack. He is throwing it down. More huge air. This is a wonderful run. This is what the Destruction Series is made for. Stuff like this. More huge air. Dalton Widner holding nothing back. For the St. Louis crowd. And he is really just letting it all hang out. Time expires. Might try to fit in one more hit. Dalton Widner and Jurassic attack getting it done tonight. Ended it off with some nice donuts. And man, another great freestyle run. Man, Dalton's one of those guys where he might not have the craziest wow moments in every show, but he will sometimes, and it will be insane. On that note, get those scores locked in for the People's Champion, Dalton Widner and Jurassic Attack. Expert scores coming at an 8.5. Fan scores coming at an 8.75. Oh, wow. That means we have a tie. That's crazy. So far, freestyle is a complete tie. We have another 8.625 on the board. Dalton Widner ties it with Matt Cody. Man, I love the fact that we have seen somehow 2 ties in the same event. That's like, we haven't seen that at all this season. Something very interesting. Uh-oh. Well, I'm getting word of who's coming up next. And all I'm going to say is you fans are going to be on the edge of your seats. At least you better be. Because maybe the greatest freestyler of current day Monster Jam is coming up. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, that one was an 8.5 and 8.75. The other one was a 9 and like 8.25. So I guess it just landed just perfectly for another tie somehow. Well, in any news, it's time to keep the action running because the craziest freestyler in 2025 is up next. Please welcome Zack Garner in Wild Side. Getting us started very nicely. Man, Zack has this track figured out. He somehow is always mastering it. Look at that. He cleared the pod. Giving it a bit of a wheelie here. On a moonwalk. Zack Garner clearly getting down to business. Oh! Is Zack forgetting that it's still the earliest stages of his run? He just did a transfer from the jammer to the pod. We have not seen that. I don't know. I don't think we've seen that so far this season. Maybe we saw it once or twice in Houston, but really we haven't seen a move like that yet. So Zack Garner, like I said, he was going to be one to look forward to. He is getting unmatched air right now. I mean, it is insane the hang time Zack Garner is getting here in St. Louis. Oh no! Man, what a weird time to roll over. I mean, we've seen great saves somehow, though. That just didn't work out for him. Well, tough breaks happen all the time here in Monster Jam. And that goes for the greats as well. No one has a perfect streak going at any point. There's always rough patches, but man, Zack will be back next time, that's for sure. Let's take a look. Experts give it a 7.25. Fans give it a 7. That gives him a 7.125. 7.125 for the man himself, Zack, Garner, and Wildside. And you know, this is really, it's a tough break because Zack had such a good early season going for him, but as time progressed, it looks like things are just continuously been going more and more rough for him, and he's gonna have to break that cycle soon if he wants to stay consistent. Well, from one independent to the next, this was Rookie of the Year in 2023, and now he's coming out here to try and take home a series win on the Destruction Series. It's Chris Koehler in Mayhem. Chris Koehler getting things started with some very nice air. Well, Zack Garner, he might not have taken the lead, but he set the, what's the word I'm looking for? He set the bar when it comes to air, that's for sure. I mean, he really gave us some huge air. Even if he wasn't able to take the lead from Matt Cody or Dalton Widner. Technically, Matt Cody is leading just because he went out first. But it is so crazy that there was a tie for the score. I mean, we have not seen something like that where it happened twice in the same show. That is just hilarious. Chris Koehler in Mayhem. Oh! Oh my goodness! And he's walking it. Well, Chris Koehler, you can really tell he's enjoying himself today because I don't even know what that was. He's getting all over the place right now. Nails the backflip. You cannot ask for a better landing than that. But can he give this run a big finish? That is what it's going to come down to. He's got about 30 seconds on the clock. He's getting all over the place right now. This is what we need to see. We need to see some ragged edge Chris Koehler coming through. Oh, wow. Sidewall out of nowhere. Can he get it back? Oh. We almost saw a classic Chris Koehler sidewall, but he lost traction, couldn't pull it off, and left about 7 seconds on the clock, give or take. He kept that truck going, but unfortunately, not all saves go in your favor. Chris Koehler seeing an early end to the run. Time to get those scores locked in for Chris Koehler and Mayhem. Let's see. Expert judges give it a 7.75. Fans give it an 8.6. That gives him the official score of an 8.175. 8.175 for Chris Koehler and Mayhem. But fans, don't think that we're done with Team Scream, because this man is known for freestyle more than anything else in the entirety of the sport. And that's where he gets the nickname Freestyle Foley. That's right. Coming up next, the ragged edge man himself is G.I. Joe Foley in Axe. Getting this set up here on the jammer. We saw him hit this thing in skills and get an insane wow factor out of it. Now we're seeing him use it for a bit of a combination move. So Joe Foley working on his skills, it looks like. You always love to see it. Off to a pretty nice start to the run. Oh man, the ragged edge action is already underway. I mean, you can't go a second with Joe Foley without things going all over the place, and that's what makes him so much fun to watch. Oh, no! Oh, wow, what a rough landing. Fortunately, everything held up, even the sway bars, which is very rare on a landing like that, so Joe's got to be feeling pretty good, at least to still be continuing on, although he's probably not feeling good physically after a landing like that. It looks like he is struggling to go from hit to hit a little bit, but every time he does see a ramp, he hits it at full speed. So he's making up for the lost time driving around with the momentum that he's hitting each ramp with. A nice transfer right there as well. Joe Foley keeping it alive here. Coming down to about 45 seconds, and he's eyeing the Morgan & Morgan backflip. Oh no! Wow, what a weird rotation for Joe Foley. He made it work though. And now he has about 40 seconds to keep this thing alive. Can he continue to deliver? That is the question. Well, he is certainly trying. Oh, man. The thing with Avenger 2 is sometimes that chassis ends up in such a place where it just cannot get it back. Well, what a crazy freestyle momentum that we have not really seen at all. Uncomparable to pretty much everyone else tonight. He got it done here in freestyle. Joe Foley and Axe. Let's see. The expert judges give it an 8.75. Fans give it a 9.25. That means this score tonight for Joe Foley is a perfect 9. Not a bad score at all. That puts him straight up there at the top spot. And I think he perfectly deserves it. Might not have filled time while some others did, but you know what? You can't win them all. On that note, we're going to keep things going here with Armando Castro, El Toro Loco. Armando has been having a rough season this year. He's got that new chassis going for him, and it's been getting hiked up non-stop, and it's been causing him to have a lot of runs go very poorly, a lot of races go very poorly. Even skills has been getting rough for him. And I mean, Armando's known for skills, so see, this is what I mean. That truck just doesn't like to stay on all fours, and I'm not too sure why. Oh! Oh my goodness! Well, maybe he's going to make me take back everything I just said. A nose pick backflip. Drivers have been trying to do that move for decades. The first successful one in Monster Jam history. I mean, sure, it wasn't perfectly successful, but that was about as perfect as you could ask for compared to ones we've seen in past years. Armando Castro, wow. I will say he's struggling to really find a basis for momentum, but he's already got wow factor situated. He's still got about half the time, but maybe an early backflip here. He nails it, and he gives us some smoke as well. If he can keep this energy up, this might be Armando's biggest score of the season. I don't even think it's a maybe at this point. I think it's guaranteed. He is soaring through the skies of St. Louis, Missouri right now, trying to get it back, but that truck has no grip at all. Wow. Leaving about 22 seconds, but nonetheless, he just burned it down. Armando Castro giving us the energy. And that is what we love to see. That is what Monster Jam Freestyle is all about. Armando with probably the wow factor of the year. If it's not, it's definitely pretty close to being up there. Well, let's see what the scores say. Experts give it an 8.75. Fans give it a 9.3. And this score for Armando Castro, a 9.025, the highest freestyle score he has seen all year, and it puts him at the top. It's about time Armando gets his things figured out, and I mean, there's no better way to do it than to throw down probably the biggest wow factor that we have seen all season. That was amazing, and I cannot wait to see what these other drivers will do to try and top that. Well, Monster Jam fans, this next driver, he's got something to prove out here. He very well could be in the series lead, but he is going to have to throw it down if he wants to be able to do that. And we're going to have to wait and see if he's able to. Coming up, it's Adam Anderson, Granger the Legend. Adam has been having the year of a lifetime lately, and he is getting it started with some huge air drifted around that jammer. He is showing us some perfect momentum right now. That is what you love to see. And Adam, he's not holding back one bit. He is really sending this truck left and right. I mean, wow. He's just now 30 seconds into the run. So, evidently, Adam knows what's at stakes. He knows he very well could take that series lead if he locks in here. He understands the assignment at hand. And he is burning it down. Oh, hold on. Textbook Adam save? Yes, it is. Adam Anderson, he always knows how to do these things right. This is the best run of the night by far so far. If he can keep this up, we might be seeing 2 Adam Anderson wins in the same event. He's already won freestyle, I think, twice this season. So, adding 1 to the books definitely wouldn't hurt for him. Oh, man. Cases the landing with the truck, soaks it up so well. 30 seconds on the clock. It's Morgan backflip time. As if nothing ever happened. Wait. Oh, no. He wasn't even at fault there. He was pedal to the metal trying to save that. It looks like the truck just got into an awkward position that he couldn't save. And that has been the tale of quite a few drivers tonight. So what was a very, very good run there for Adam Anderson comes to a bit of an early end, but man, what an incredible freestyle it was. And the scores are locked. Fans, your score tonight for Adam Anderson and Gravedigger, a 9.193, 9.193, put him at the top. Adam Anderson once again finds himself dominating the competition. This might be his event. I mean, he is just looking great. Competition after competition. I know skills didn't go how he wanted it to, but I definitely think he's made up for it pretty well. Well, some drivers have had better nights, some have had worse nights, but the action has undeniably been great. And we still have about half the field, if not more, to go. And on that note, we're going to take it back to the Garners for a second. Coming up next, Chad Tingler overboard. Chad Tingler, he's struggling a little bit here this season. You know, he's not the worst in points ever, but he's in the bottom 3, so he's got to try to get things figured out here. He did earn his spot here thanks to the Christmas Crush event. But, I mean, I don't know. Keeping it nice and old school with that wheelie. You love to see that kind of stuff. If anyone's going to get it done, it will be Chad. I will say, this is probably the best air we've seen from Chad so far this season. He's not really been airing it out like I was expecting him to for the most part, but that's kind of changing today, you know? He's actually giving it some nice moves. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, look at that. Classic Chad Tingler save. That is what it's all about here in freestyle. That is what the freestyle competition is for. It's all for getting those wow factors like that. So Chad Tingler, you love to see it. Combine those two words right there for a second. Maybe a backflip here. Oh no. Ouch. I mean, the truck didn't look like it really sustained damage, but that was just a really hard cage hit. Cage hits never feel nice for anyone, so gotta feel a little rough there for Chad, but you know what? He still gave us a great run. Now, the bar has just been set so high by Adam and Armando and even Joe that it's gonna be hard to give that run a huge score, but I mean, you never know. Maybe it's his lucky day. Keep in mind, score to beat Adam Anderson, Gravedigger, the legend, 9.193. The score for Chad Tingler and Overboard, an 8.701. 8.701. Not enough for that top spot, but it still puts him up there on the board. Well, we're going to keep the action going here. Coming up next, my hometown hero, Todd LeDuc, Blue Thunder. Man, Todd really does belong in this truck. Every time he's in this truck, he throws it down. We always love to see it. And he's off to a wonderful start. Look at this wheelie action. Todd LeDuc, you know, he's really been working on his technical game more than anything this year. Oh, wow. That is definitely showing through with this freestyle run. And I mean, that's cool. We haven't seen too many technical moves in freestyle yet, but that's more or less what the skills challenge is for. This is the time where the judges are really looking for that big air and the wow factors and things like that. So that's kind of what we need to see Todd working on a little bit here. Definitely some big air right there. Bit of a rough landing, but not stopping Todd. Oh, what just happened? Oh! Well, I don't know what to call that. It looked like the truck was going with a lot of momentum, but it got caught up on the jammer. It gave him the interval to where he could figure out what was going on, and it gave him the perfect opportunity to save it, and another perfect save for Todd. And he's going to nail the backflip as well, because why not? I mean, we are seeing a textbook Monster Jam freestyle run. Todd LeDuc, he is getting it done. We have not seen a Todd LeDuc freestyle that was this authentic since I can really remember. This is, when I hear Todd LeDuc, this is the kind of energy I expect to see. He's going at it full speed, up and over the cars. Todd's looking incredible out here. Oh, man. Time expires. Hey, Todd actually finished 2 minutes. About time someone does that. I don't even think we've seen that since Matt Cody. pretty ironic seeing as this was Matt Cody's old ride. Wow. I am at a loss for words with that freestyle run. Score to beat 9.193. Adam Anderson, Gravedigger Legend. The score tonight for Todd LeDuc and Blue Thunder, a 9.455. Put him at the top. Todd LeDuc, Blue Thunder, showed up, showed out, got it done, and you love to see that. Man, this show just continues to be so much fun to watch. The wow factors have been unreal lately. Oh, actually, we did miss a driver that should have gone a little sooner. So we're going to send him out here right now. I think he should have gone out sooner. Let me check. Yeah, this driver should have gone out here a little bit sooner, but I guess they were doing a little bit of last-minute maintenance back there in the pits to make sure he was all ready to go. So he's going to be sent out here a little bit late. Sometimes that's how it goes here with Monster Jam. It's Venard in the Black Pearl. That ramp is really well designed. I really like the way they built it. It sends the trucks with a really good distance and some decent height, but not too much of either. Although when you're talking about getting huge air in terms of big height and that serious elevation, I think the ramp on this end of the track is going to be more what you're looking for. Well, Venard, he's got no time to waste. He's immediately throwing down a signature Venard Ragged Edge freestyle. He's got this thing drifting around the corners. Just now filling 30 seconds, but he is evidently driving this like his life depends on it. I mean, really, his place in the standings does. Coming into this event, he's on the podium, but he's not been perfect, especially looking at racing and skills. Racing went horribly. Skills could have been better, so he really does have to get points wherever he can. So it does not surprise me at all to see him going this crazy here in freestyle. And you know what? It's more fun for everyone that way, except for probably the techs later on, but that's besides the point. Venard, the Black Pearl, looking great. Lining up for a Morgan & Morgan backflip. Oh, hold on. Oh, no. He almost pulled out the save. The truck just barely didn't rotate enough to where he would have gotten the grip he needed to. Nonetheless, he threw it down. Unreal. Venard and the Black Pearl. Well, the momentum was there, the air was there, but you didn't really get any super notable wow factor that we really needed to see with how great the other runs have been. And I think that's really going to determine how high his score is here, because the official score tonight, Venard and the Black Pearl, in 8.502. 8.502. Not enough for that top spot. Like I said, it has been the tale of many drivers where they just don't get the wow factor they need, and that is what causes them to drop down there in the competition. But we're going to keep things alive here with one of the best freestylers in Monster Jam history. This is Camden Murphy and the Megalodon. A bit of a different ride for Camden, but you know what? It's not made him any worse of a driver. He's going full send central. Signature Camden Murphy way to kick off a run. He's looking pretty solid so far. I've said that for just about every run, but I mean, it's true. No one's really been holding back. And Camden Murphy, maybe the biggest send of the night, and if not the biggest send, it's definitely up there. Man, he is not giving that truck any mercy. I'm surprised that thing is still holding up all fine, because that truck's been sent all over the place here. Evidently getting on some ragged edge action right now. Wheelie right there into the mini flip ramp, getting it turned back around. Maybe a broken tie rod up there. I can't really tell. Got about 50 seconds left on the clock. Camden, Murphy, and Megalodon. Oh my goodness. In-cab shot of the crash. He's still holding on in hopes of a refire, but of course that's not happening. Turns out we were a little wrong. I thought we had a broken tie rod on our hands, but this was actually the guy that was giving us trouble. It was a broken 4-link bar. That is why the truck got sent into such a weird rotation. I wish we caught on to that before he went for the backflip, so that he didn't just explode the whole truck like that, but I just been assuming it was a tie rod. Even then, he shouldn't have really attempted a backflip. It is against the rules of this tour to do a backflip with a broken tie rod. So because of that, Camden is going to be receiving a 5-point deduction for doing something that would be against the rules. Scores are locked. It's going to be a 7.041. 7.041. Not enough for Camden. That's going to be pretty detrimental to him. You know, he's done better at some events, worse at some others, but there's really no event where a low 7 is going to be great for you, especially not when you're battling a penalty. But we like to enforce the rules here because that's how we keep these events consistent and safe for everybody. On that note, we're going to keep the action going here with one of the greatest freestylers in all of Monster Jam. The man, the myth, the legend, Bryce Kenny, Monster Mutt. Man, I wish Bryce Kenny was hitting these kind of drifts in racing. That was a very clean pass around the track. And he is just going to get things started here with some huge air. You love to see it. Keeping it going. And he is off to a great start. He is keeping this alive. You'll love to see it. Really, Bryce Kenny and Monster Mutt holding nothing back. Oh, wow. He just did a maximum moonwalk. Or sorry, that's not a maximum moonwalk. That's a momentum moonwalk. Originated by Tom Mentz. You really don't see that on these rear-engine trucks very much. Chris Koehler's been really the only one outside of Tom doing that kind of move, but I guess Bryce decided that was his opportunity. And he's off to a great run so far. He's got about half the time, and he's going to go in for a Morgan backflip. Perfect landing, sets him up perfectly to go right into the next hit. Bryce Kenny keeping that momentum. I wouldn't expect anything less from someone like Bryce. Looks like he's starting to get a little bit lost out there, but nothing he can't recover from. Still got about 30 seconds on the clock. Oh boy. Well, now's the time that you gotta keep your eyes peeled. Bryce Kenny full sends it through the air. And he is keeping it going here. Oh, man. Oh, that was such an insane move. What? It was like, it was a combination of a cartwheel and a flat spin. We have never seen something like that. That was unreal. Bryce Kenny And Monster Mutt, you know what? I said he was one of the fan favorite freestylers for a reason. Wow. Scores are locked. Score to beat. 9.455 for Todd LeDuc. Score for Bryce Kenny is a 9.31, enough for second place. You know, second place is a great place to be on a tour this stacked. Really not something to complain about. So, I'm sure he's feeling pretty good with that score and that placement. Well, now we're getting down towards the end of competition. This is when things start to get exciting. This is when you really got to keep your eyes peeled for those wow factors. Left to go, we have Jim Koehler, John Zimer Jr., Blake Granger, and Ryan Anderson. So 4 competitors remain, and these drivers, all 4 names I just listed, have been consistent all day long. So I'm super excited to see how that will carry into freestyle. And like said, that means coming up next, 2-time Monster Jam world champion. Hey, world champion in this exact competition. It's Jim Koehler in the Avenger. Jim has been looking great all night long. This is really the first show where we've had a set of actually consistent drivers. Lil Zim, Ryan Anderson, Blake Granger, and Jim Koehler. They've all been looking pretty solid all night long. And of course, Adam has been looking pretty good as well, but skills kind of lost him out in some pretty important points, so he's not been quite as consistent here. And Ryan actually wasn't too great in racing either, so really the ones to keep your eyes on are Jim Koehler, John Zimmer Jr., and Blake Granger, who had the 3 fastest racing passes and 3 of the 4 highest skill scores. Very interesting, and that's definitely going to play a big role in points here. I think we're going to be seeing all 3 of these drivers getting a big boost in the standings, which for some is going to be good. Jim Koehler's been really not doing great with points. I think this is going to be the first time in quite a while that we see Jim in the top half of the competitors. Then there's someone like Blake who's not been doing good at all. I think Blake was like 13th coming into the show. So Blake and Jim, oh yes! I thought Jim was over, but Jim was in fact not over. He was still just getting started. And he is proving that point right now as we speak. Jim Koehler, consistency is key. And he has been the consistent driver of the event. He is just throwing it down. I mean, this is the time where if you're John Zimmer Jr. or if you're Blake Granger, you better be getting nervous, because you're going to have to follow this thing up. Oh, man. Almost save of the year for Jim Koehler. I don't know what went wrong. I guess he just gave it a little bit too much gas. Oh. So much just happened in that run. I don't even know where to begin here. Wow. I mean, wow. Textbook. That's all I have to say. Huge air saves, crashes, backflip, momentum. Jim Koehler did it all. Unbelievable. Well, scores are locked. Score to beat, 9.455, Todd LeDuc. The score for Jim Koehler and Avenger is a 9.503, 9.503. Put him at the top. Jim Koehler and Avenger. This is huge for him as he sees 3 placements that I think are all top 5. I could be wrong in racing, but I'm pretty sure he did place top 5 in racing. I'm pretty sure he's placed top 5 in every competition so far today, and that's really going to be a big opportunity for him to try and climb back up in points. In the meantime, here comes the biggest threat, I guess I should say up-and-coming threat, in monster trucks, and all of monster trucks right now, John Zimer Jr. in terminal velocity. He is getting ready to throw it down right now. Big air gets things kicked off. You know, John Zimer Jr., he is just such a thrill to watch out there on the track. Uh-oh. What? Oh, no. Oh, man. Oh. This is far from the first time this has happened to John Zimer Jr., where he is just having such a great event, and one thing goes wrong, and it ruins everything. John Zimer Jr. doesn't fill 30 seconds. He gets no score tonight. On top of that, he absolutely bodied that dumpster. So that's going to be a penalty for him as well. 5 points off. What a huge, tough break for John Zimer Jr. in terminal velocity. Well, you know what? You can't win them all. He was already winning just about everything else tonight, so I guess someone spoke up and said, hey, it's time for someone else to win. And John Zimer Jr. just did not get what he needed to get done. On that note, we're down to the final two. And what has been the most eventful, or at least up there, show of the season, only two remain. Coming up first of the two, has some serious work to do to try and get back up there in points. Granger, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Soaring high in the air, kicking things off. Now pressure's on. John Zimer Jr. really fumbled, and that gives Granger a big opportunity to stay the most consistent driver of the event. He stayed just slightly more consistent than Jim Koehler, so if he can place about the same area as Jim Koehler did, even if he places maybe a couple spots below Jim, he'll still remain the driver of the event. So, I mean, Granger clearly becoming a force to be reckoned with this season. No real surprises, though. He is the first and only driver to get 2 series championships the same year. No! What? This is the same thing that happened to Adam. You could hear him. He was on the throttle. There was nothing he could have done to have made the cards fall into his favor, or I guess into his hands there. There's nothing he could have done differently. He was doing everything he could have to try and keep that run alive, but I guess this track just didn't have the grip or the traction or something. Couldn't pull off the save. Because of that, the official score comes in at an 8.1. Put him pretty much at the bottom. I mean, there's maybe 2 or 3 scores lower than that, but that's really rough for Blake. Well, on that note, and then there was one. He won the skills challenge after having a very rough night in racing. Now he has the opportunity to come out here and prove himself and try and get back up there in the point standings. 4-time world champion for a reason. Ryan Anderson, son of a digger. Huge air as he gets this run started. Now, so far there has been a curse this season where every single driver that comes out last ends up doing terribly in freestyle. So maybe Ryan could try and break that cycle. I don't know. We're going to just have to wait and see. I will say he's off to a great start, but this is how it usually goes. The driver's looking great. They just get carried away, and that's when things stop looking so great for them. I will say Ryan's given some good momentum, but it's been looking a bit repetitive here. He's going to have to try and step it up and make this run a little bit more unique. He is looking just a little bit lost out there, which is strange at best. I feel like Ryan tends to have a pretty good time with figuring out tracks, but I guess this just isn't one of them. Oh my goodness, what a sit. Wait, maybe? Oh no! The last out curse continues. Ryan leaves 50 seconds on the clock. I thought he had that save. He just gave it a little too much rear steer, and it sent him onto his lid. And the official score tonight for Ryan Anderson is a 7.9. Well, you know what, fans? That was a tough way to end out the freestyle competition. Probably not exactly at all how Ryan wanted it to go. But don't think we're done. Oh, no, we're not done. This is the BeamNG Destruction Series, the biggest monster truck tour that there is. The most exciting, action-packed, thrill-filled tour in all of monster trucks. We're not ending things off on a bad note like that. We're going to keep the action going here. Because for those of you who are new to the tour, every event that we do on the series ends with an encore. Now, these encores usually go one of two ways. Either a hometown driver gets to go out there and rep for their hometown, which we saw pretty recently in Houston, and we saw Armando do it in Anaheim, or we see a sponsorship truck get a bit of a special highlight, which we also just saw in Houston. Well, fans, boy, am I excited for this one. Our great partners at Losi have built an all-new Losi Monster Jam truck that we can officially use for a Losi Encore. That Losi truck is beautiful. The LEDs look great. And some huge air for the Losi machine. Now, I don't actually know who's driving this truck tonight. We haven't actually revealed that quite yet. But whoever it is, they evidently know how to drive a Monster Jam truck pretty well. They are giving us some nice full sends out here. And even a little bit of some ragged edge saves. I wonder who it could be. Now you see Son of a Digger and Grave Digger over there, the two Losi LMT trucks that there are. And the Losi seems to be eyeing them. Here we go. There we go. Oh yeah. Giving a nice love tap to the Grave Digger left out there on the track. This is what we try to do to close out every show. Give you fans some sort of crazy, one-of-a-kind encore from one of our sponsors, one of our hometown drivers, to try and give the shows a good ending. And that Losi truck is done. Absolutely demolished upon landing. And the reveals here, I guess, now that that encore's over, that was Weston Anderson piloting that truck like a madman. Well, fans, that was certainly an event to witness. I mean, racing went about as you'd expect. And skills started off so rough, and me and I think the fans as well, we all started getting a little hopeless for this show. But then Ryan Anderson came out there for skills, and after that, it was all uphill. Everything just kept getting more and more insane. The action kept turning up, all up until Weston Anderson came out here in that low-C machine to close out the show with that truck jump encore. I hope you fans enjoyed. This was round 5 on the BeamNG Destruction Series. These events are always so much fun to put on, and they're always so much more fun when you are here watching them live and helping me score. I'm not too sure when this when this tour will have an event next, hopefully sometime soon, as we do start to near the World Finals and we get to the latter end of the season. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, and if you're new here, maybe subscribe, hit that bell, and leave a comment of what you want to see, or I guess I should say where you want to see this tour head next. So yeah, thank you all for coming out. This was a great show.